Everyone, welcome back to Football Talks. This week we're going to go over our Game Week 3 reactions, all the scores, and of course, today's also deadline day, so there's just some exciting transfers going on as well. This past weekend was pretty crazy. Some results that we didn't really expect. I think in our last video when we did our predictions, I know I got most of mine wrong, that's for sure. So let's go ahead and jump into it. The first match we have is, of course, Chelsea versus Fulham. Chelsea winning 2-0 like we all expected. A little controversial this game though, because we had that Fulham goal that was chalked off. So, Ari, what do you think of that game? Like, what was your thoughts just seeing the score and like your live reaction? What do you think?
I was a little worried for you guys considering it took you some time to get a goal in. Um, and then Delap going down, that's really gonna hurt you guys.
That has sparked some drama,
Especially with deadline day
Yeah.
and like Jackson. Don't even get me started with that. I just think that we'll talk about that in a minute. Overall, though, I think Fulham played y'all well. And to your point, they could have not tied it, but I guess that goal should have counted.
Oh yeah, that should have
So-
counted. That's VAR and the referees at their absolute worst, where they call little things. They look for anything to chalk off goals. It seems like this season.
Yeah, and that's what I was telling Mario the other day, and we talked about this before. I do think a lot of these calls aren't consistent this season. I mean, it's never going to be 100% perfect, but this season, I'm very much like, really, like it's not fair all the way around. So I do have a comment on that, but outside of the game, I do think Fulham played real well. Delap getting hurt didn't help. Kind of, Pedro plays behind him. So now what? Now is he going to play that forward, or is he going to still play behind? But again, we'll get back into because that goes with Mark Gui, that goes with Jackson and all of them. So what about you, Junior?
I thought Chelsea did well. I mean, yeah, it was one of those games that we kind of say was going to be back and forth because Fulham plays very defensive. But Chelsea, at the end of the day, they came through. Pedro, again, it's very consistent. He's been very consistent, and he the position that he's playing it just suits him. So, it was interesting to see the Laps sub coming in and be subbed out at the second half. So,
Team Osaka. Team Osaka.
yeah, I was very like, okay, didn't he just come in? I told Iris, didn't he just come in not too long for the lap? Then he's being, even the commentators made that comment. I'm like, well, okay, I guess that's something different for Chelsea. They're really trying different things, but at the end of the day, they came out with the 3 points. Joao Pedro and Enzo really came for you guys. But Fulham tried. Fulham is they haven't signed anyone as far as I know at the moment. But today's deadline day, so yeah, and we'll see what happens. 3 points, 3 points for Chelsea,
Yeah.
second place.
That's all that matters, though. I think at this stage, just getting the points on the board. And yeah, I think the lap injury was really interesting, and the fact that we subbed on Team Osaka, or we're talking about
Evil Saka that you call him.
yeah, Evil Saka. We're talking about Tyreek George. So he got subbed on about like the 20th minute, 15th minute, I think, and then we subbed him off for a midfielder towards the end of the game. I think it was more tactical because we didn't really we weren't pushing to score another goal. We were just kind of trying to keep the lead. And to be honest, he didn't offer much. He's not a striker. We don't have a national striker on the bench because we also shipped our other striker, Jackson, off to Bayern Munich the same day.
Well, let's talk about that a little bit. Man, I just think Chelsea, they do their players dirty. They kick them out. They don't want them. Then they do amazing. Oh, now Liam Delap's injured. Now we need Jackson back. Wow. All of a sudden, now he matters. Of course, Jackson doesn't want to go back. Are you kidding me? There's that drama there, though. It got very interesting.
Yeah.
Very, very interesting. So, yeah, that's my gripe with Chelsea is, yes, it's a business, but it's a little too much of a business. And how many players do you have to keep signing? I talked about the bus last time. Now it could be like a 4-level bus. Like, you might have to add another one.
Yeah, and a lot of young players are signing, and it's like more of a transactional thing than what can they contribute to the team.
Right.
Because all the signings I don't see them getting any playing time. A lot of the teams like Liverpool, Manchester City, and other teams, they get the signings. Even Man United, they sign experienced players. And they usually, hey, I'm signing you, I'm putting you in the next game, at least 20 minutes, you're starting everything else. But yeah, Chelsea is very interesting. Their approach, but I don't see a lot of depth in Chelsea, which I think is going to impact you guys with injuries. Which, look, the lab being hurt really impacted. Now you're having to scramble and try to find yourself. And recall players are playing at, you recalling the player
Mark,
from,
Mark Louis
from
from
Sutherland. Yeah, you're recalling him, and he's having he's having a game over there. But and then now you got Jackson. So yeah, the depth is really going to be.
Yeah, I agree. It's thing is like there's depth in the squad in certain areas. So like right back we have coverage. I think
Wings.
center back we have
Wingers.
coverage. Wings now we have Garnacho coming in. So like there's
Don't you have like 3 for one position for the right wing or something like that?
yeah, I mean Pedro and Estevao are on the right, and then Gittins and Garnacho on the left.
Oh, okay. I was thinking for some reason Garnacho was on right.
I'd say the only position we're not deep in was striker. So it was kind of unlucky because even midfielders like Enzo and Caicedo, we have Santos and Dario Sugo to cover there. So it's just little. It's just like I don't think we should have pushed out Jackson in my opinion. I think we should have kept him at least for the season or until January, and just see if he's needed. Because to your point, João Pedro is playing like the 10 where Palmer would play. So if we're too deep in every position, sort of like how Arsenal are, that's Jackson and Delap up top. So I don't know if the squad building was right there, or maybe they expected João Pedro to play more of a striker, and they didn't expect Palmer to get injured. I don't know. So I agree, it was weird.
That rotation would have been the lap Jackson, and I think Jackson would have benefited learning from Pedro and the lap and helping each other out and see their approach. Again, to me, Jackson did everything right, made the right runs. He was open at the right times. He just couldn't finish, which is the job of a forward. Sure. But other than that, he's
still
fast.
a good player.
Yeah, he's
I
a pretty
think
good
too
player.
he didn't maybe fit Chelsea's style of play a little bit. I mean, I don't think it's very complicated your style of play, but I noticed he did well before he came to you guys. And maybe I don't know if he just did bad, and then that confidence wise, he just couldn't get out of that rut, and he needed to leave to get out of it. But overall, yes, we say all this poop about Chelsea, but they're in second place, so they're doing something right. And maybe yes, they don't have depth, but maybe signing the young people will temporarily get them the win that they need for the Prem, and then a year or two later, it's not. They're gonna have to find something new.
See, the thing about the depth is they got depth, but it's not experience. So, but congratulations, great win.
Gracias.
And clean sheet. So, hey, I got Caicedo. Got me some defensive points. And Sanchez got me a clean sheet.
Yeah,
so,
me too.
And Pedro, you know what? I was thinking about Captain Pedro.
Yeah.
I really thought about it. I'm like, I think Pedro is going to score, but then I know Fulham how defensive they play. But I say, we'll see. You know what? I'm not going to go. So I end up captaining Haaland, which ended up paying off anyway. Okay. So, but hey, great win. So,
all right. So our next game here is Everton versus Wolves. So this was Jack Grealish show again. two assists for the man. So 4 assists in 2 games for him. That's pretty crazy. He's being unlocked over at Everton.
Oh, he took what I was gonna say. Okay, because that's what I had written down. But he's right though. It is the Jack Grealish show. I mean, he was on fire. Him and Drewsbury, really on fire. But again, like we've been saying, I think this is what he needed, and he's trying to prove a point. You can tell he's trying to prove a point. Him, Drewsbury, and Dye as well. He pulled through for me. I was very surprised, to be honest. But I will say one thing I've noticed is Everton's defense might be struggling a little bit more this season. To be honest, I don't know why. I haven't really noticed like who started for that.
Well, I think Braithwaite is out still.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, I want to say they started Michael Keane. He's not very good.
I swear, I know like last season they weren't amazing. I mean, they were still losing, but
they kept
more clean sheets. So that is kind of something I noticed. And the fact that Wolves were able to score 2 goals without Strand Larson, which there's drama there. Of course, they're not going to let him go. I mean, they lost Cunha. I know he wants to leave, but it is what it is. Like, they're not going to let him go. They need to score. They're going to get freaking relegated. And honestly, right now, they're looking like a team that could easily get relegated because these championship teams are pulling up. Like, they are standing out, and they are fighting their way through.
Yep. Agreed.
Yeah, I mean, Beto finally scored. Jack, you know what? I'm thinking FPL here. Make sure they get Jack Grealish. I was thinking about getting Jack Grealish. And I'm like, you know what? Maybe it was a one-time wonder, this stuff like that. But seems like it's 2 games in a row. He's coming through for Everton.
I think he feels more important at the team, and it's helping his confidence.
He does well when he feels important. You know, a majority of players do, but there's some more than others. So I agree.
Yeah, it was a good game to watch. I mean, it was fast paced. You know, Hee-Chan came. He was back and forth. Hee-Chan scored for them. I haven't seen Hee-Chan play in a little while because I know. I think it was the first season I started playing FPL. I'm like,
Him and
Hee-Chan.
Cunha?
Yeah, it was like
Hee-Chan was coming through for me.
Yeah,
It was him and Pedro Neto up top that were coming through.
Oh, was it?
For the
Okay.
Wolves. Yeah.
Neto. Yeah, you're right. And then he got hurt.
Yep.
Yeah. So because I think Cunha was playing more like an attacking mid.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So, but hey, I was wrong about Endai. The first week I had him, he didn't do anything. All of a sudden, he starts getting points. He starts scoring. He starts being the man. He starts actually playing. I was like, okay, you know what? I'm not gonna jump on him. They got some interesting games coming up, but it was a good game. I thought it was a good game, back and forth. So, hey, good 3 points for Everton. So, who do we got next? Our next game, Tottenham versus Bournemouth. Wow, that was surprising for me.
Yeah.
For me, I was like, that's a Tottenham win. The way they've been playing, the way they play Manchester City in their first game. And I'm like, Bournemouth, they had a rough preseason, but actually, I think it was a setup. I think Bournemouth's like, we're going to show our worst on the preseason.
Hustling, yeah.
And then we're going to show what we really are during the season. And they come out with 3 points. I mean, wow.
Mario and I kind of talked about this the other day with Junior, but the biggest thing is Bournemouth are such a high press team, and that helps them so much, especially with Tottenham. That especially exposed Tottenham's defense, just overall the entire team. Tottenham could not get through; they could not connect a pass. They were really struggling. Bournemouth were on it, and the whole team was on it. Semenyo had opportunities. Man, I pulled him into my FPL team this week, hoping I think I did say a tie last week, but still, I thought he'd at least bag a goal. So that kind of hurts because almost all my midfielders blanked besides, I think, Ndai and there's someone else I can't remember. But either way, I do think Bournemouth is doing something right. If they can keep it up, then great. I mean, they scored against you guys.
Yeah.
So
yeah, they did.
They're pulling through against these big teams.
They're very disciplined on the defensive side. I mean, they're very structured in their press. And they just keep moving in their quick counter, which is how they got us.
That requires a lot of work.
Yes,
Like if you play soccer, yeah, and it's very hard to get a whole team to do that. You can get your attackers to do that, but to have your whole team stay disciplined and be athletic like that, it's very difficult. So, Bournemouth is really doing well.
Yeah, I mean, Areola has coached that team like to perfection. He's lost his center backs. Clivert, he's still not up to full fitness. So he's playing with not a disjointed team, but not the team he was playing with last season, right? So he's had to make some changes. And yeah, they still look great. I mean, Tottenham, it was like they were playing like a championship team. They couldn't play out of the back. It's crazy, night and day difference versus City. They were composed. They were focused. I saw a stat that the past 4 or 5 times that Tottenham has beat Manchester City, they've lost the game right after that. Every time
that's interesting.
City, they lose the game right after. It's almost like they use all their focus. They're so ready for that City game, and they just can't keep up that focus.
Yeah, I was going to say, maybe it's like an adrenaline high. Like
Right,
you reach such a high adrenaline that the come down has to happen at some point.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, and it was a home game for Spurs.
Yeah.
So that's, I'm pretty sure the fans weren't really happy about that. But
Bournemouth,
3 points.
Yeah, I've been off the score sheet now.
Yeah. Good for them.
Okay, so the next game we have is Man United versus Burnley, and man, this did not go as expected. Yes, okay, United won, but it was by an own goal. It was by a PK. Thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, listen, they lost to the Grimsby Town for the Caballero Cup, so they're already down on their confidence. I mean, Burnley. This is the perfect game for Burnley to come in, and they almost did it. They came. They came
capitalized.
They could have, yeah. I will say United did have a lot of chances. Mentally, they're just struggling. And yeah, they had a PK at the very last minute, which saved me because I had Bruno in my FPL. I didn't captain though. And yeah, I mean, overall, the midfield is just still looking like weak. Cunha got hurt, so I don't.
You felt the difference on the game once he left.
Yeah. So
yeah.
I, listen, I don't know. Going forward, they play City. I think they play Chelsea after that. They're going to need to maybe sign a midfielder today because they're
Listen,
they're
them
so weak in the
playing
middle.
City right now, they could probably win it. I don't want to get started on my team,
Yeah,
but going back, I do think Buemo missed a lot of shots, but I still think he had a decent game.
yeah,
because he created a lot of opportunity,
right.
especially on his side. Ahmad, I do think he wasn't like, I would say last season he was a little more.
Well, he was playing in Buemo's position, which he's playing now.
Right. But he still helped create opportunities too. They couldn't, I will say it was also interesting the fact that they put in Xerxes instead of Shesko. But I think that's because Shesko's been not doing well. And Xerxes has that experience a little bit more. So that was an interesting tactical decision on that part. But United really need to step it up. Like, come on. They have opportunities. They just got to finish. It's just, to your point, the midfield's weak. So
Yeah, and Kobe Mainu wants to leave. I don't know if he's going to end up leaving today.
there's that drama with
but
that.
there's another midfielder that wants to get out. And,
Onana, Martinez. Is that confirmed
oh,
today?
they're signing. They
got the Belgium.
they built the Belgian guy from Antwerp.
Okay,
so,
never mind.
Yeah, the Martinez deal fell through.
Okay.
Yeah, but hey, at least finally Man United scored their own goal. Okay, because everybody else been scoring on goal. It was all on goals.
Back,
Man United had yet to score, and then Buemo had to do it.
Yep.
What a guy to do it. Cunha got hurt early. I'm glad I didn't captain him. A lot of people, I saw a lot of people captain Cunha in FPL.
Yep.
But I'm gonna have to find me a replacement, so I'm looking through it. But
he's so expensive, you could easily do that.
Yeah, it's just finding a good, reliable replacement.
You could go to Buemo. He's the same price.
Yeah, I thought about it, but they got some difficult fixtures coming up, and But anyway, the game was funny to the last minute. I mean, it was back and forth. It was a game that I thought Burnley was going to win. I was like, holy
you felt
crap.
it after that Grimsby result. It's almost like the universe wanted Burnley to win. I think everybody wanted Burnley to win, and
that would have been something else. But and Wellman that coming through for the team, as he does, he was doing at Brentford as well.
Mm-hmm.
But now we're gonna see what they do. Well, coming off the break, so Manchester United, you got your 3 points, you got to score 1 goal, and then you score a second goal. Finally, Fernandes put it in the net. He was very consistent last season on his penalty kicks. So, good to see him back on it.
I don't blame Armorin, however you say his name, for like when they go to take PKs, he's like, can't look. I want to be able to look either after what happened.
Well,
I'd be so scared.
Well, the referee didn't take off his mind off of it, so it didn't. He didn't lose his mojo.
He
was
didn't
in
bump into
there.
him this time.
Yeah. So, no flies. There was no wind in there, so it was focused. But hey, 3 points for them.
Yeah,
good for them.
And
their own goals.
Yep.
Good. There was an own goal the first one.
It was.
Yeah, it was an own goal.
It really was. So the next game we have is Sunderland versus Brentford. And Sunderland, man, they pulled through. Congrats to them.
6 points so far. That's pretty crazy.
Yep.
They came back, so I think Brentford was winning this one 1-0, right? Sade ended up missing a PK. Oof.
Yeah, Brentford came on the score very early. And hey, Sunderland was at home, and they put up a show for their fans.
I will say Dango had a lot of opportunities. He just couldn't. I think he was like offside for a couple. But he's a standout pick for FPL too. I know Brentford as a whole isn't a great team, but he's someone to consider. Brings in that Bournemouth attack kind of where he's like fast and just drives at him. But we did kind of expect because Sunderland has been doing well attacking wise, but still to beat a Premier League team, that's pretty good.
Well, and Sunderland had like a 65% possession on that game. So Brentford, losing Wisa, losing Mbuemo, losing their Norgard, and even their coach. This is a team that is going to take time to find the players that are going to fit the new model that this coach is going to have to put in place. Wisa now, welcome to Newcastle. So he's gonna go to Newcastle. He's been striking out, so he's been sitting out. So yeah, Sutherland. So we'll see what happens to Brentford going forward. Yeah, good for them. Good win for Sutherland. Good to see a newly promoted team stepping it up and competing against the top league teams.
Yeah.
The Premier League teams that have been there for a little bit. So they're stepping it up. All these, Sutherland, Burnley, and Leeds. Wow. Good for them.
Yeah,
Good for them. It's good to see.
It's not like a blow. It's not a guaranteed blowout. I mean, they could still. They're still from the championships. They still could have their time where they get, 4 or 5 goals like Leeds did against Arsenal last weekend. But I mean, speaking of Leeds, we'll go on to the next game. Leeds versus Newcastle 0-0. I mean, this just goes to show that Newcastle really needed a striker, and they've signed 2 since this game. So,
that's going to help them tremendously. Yeah. So, Newcastle, don't count them out because they had opportunities without a striker. Now, with the striker, they just need Gordon back because Gordon was creating a lot of those opportunities. Yeah. They're solid.
Well, yeah, the sell, Isak, he's not going to be alone from now on. So,
we're not talking about your team yet. So just wait.
Just wait.
Let's go back to Newcastle, okay?
Wait.
Not everything's about your team.
Oh, it's going to be. It's going to be. So far, it's going to be. But anyway, so for the price that we paid for Isak, they went and got 2 forwards. So good for them. Now the interesting, what I'm going to see is who's going to start.
Right, because even this, I have it here. Like this last game, it's interesting. He didn't start Barnes, and he started 2. The other guy, I forgot the forward.
He didn't start Alenga either.
Yeah, he started him and Murphy up top, and so that was a little something different. I don't know if it was necessarily good or bad, but it was something different that I haven't seen by them.
Yeah, so. Maybe it was the intensity of the Liverpool game they played recently, or maybe he just felt like Leeds, they lost to Arsenal 5-0, and he just felt confident that they could get the job done with their subs. But no, they held firm, and that's a really good result for Leeds.
Oh yeah, absolutely, against Newcastle.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Newcastle again. After the break, they got these 2 forwards. We're gonna see how they play and who's gonna start for them. I don't know if Isak maybe they started for them or not, but they're the 2 forwards. This time they play different ways. They're like different. Isak like to also be almost like a false 9. He almost plays like an attacking mid, sort of, and creates plays because that's what he had with Mbeumo. It was the combination of Mbeumo and Isak when they were at Brentford, and Isak will get the ball, feed Mbeumo, and vice versa. So I don't know. We'll see what happens with the 2 new forwards and how Newcastle uses them. So
yeah, I was gonna say Leeds, that right winger, or I think he's a right winger. How do you say his name?
Nato,
yeah. And I told them this, that he really pressed on that side. Yeah. He did really, really well. And in general, he's been doing really well, pressing and putting those through balls. They just need to be able to finish. They have so many shots, not even on goal, just in general. If you look at the stats, they have less possession, they have more shots, but I think it was like only 1 on goal. So if they can perfect that, but he's a good player. He definitely stood out to me. So
yeah, he's not that tall.
No, he's short. And he's
very short.
That's the crazy part.
This is something for American soccer, America, to kind of, it's not about size, okay? This is not football, American football. This is not basketball. This is not, your other sports that you need to be 7 feet tall, 300 pounds, and be this huge player. No, this is actual football, South American football and European football where doesn't matter if you're high, tall, short, as long as you have the skill and the passion and the hunger to be the player that you want to be, you can do it. You can play. I've seen a lot of coaches, other scouts. They're like, oh, you're gonna play midfield, so I need you to be certain size. You're gonna play 4, I need you to be certain size. For goodness gracious, Messi's 5'6". There's so much talent out there. Let the ball play on the ground. That's where he plays most of the time. Center backs, I can kind of see because of headers and stuff like that. But still, the ball is on the ground, 90-something% of the time? Let the feet do the work. Let those people play. That's why, again, the sport is so famous elsewhere because everybody has a chance at it. So I had to say that because he plays his heart out. Yeah. For his size, he was giving all these tall players, a run for their money. he did a lot of opportunity. He did not give up. Had the passion. He looked good. You know.
I agree. I mean, yeah, keep the ball on the ground. That's why here sometimes you'll see, especially like youth football. It's like a lot of kickball in the air, just nonstop, just all about physicality.
If you know how to play, you just play. Don't
Yeah.
count them out, just bite size. And Mente shows that too.
Yeah.
You know, there's a lot of players in the Prem that show that. So
Hey, speaking of Minte, so let's go ahead and move on to this game.
I didn't bring this up to talk about that.
There's no funeral this week, but there's been another death. Man City's title
No,
hopes.
it definitely is a funeral. We're going to
So-
keep having funerals, I guess.